Not financial advice, guys, but if you like buying things when they are low and selling them when they are high, I would say now is a good time to look into Cultivated Science again. Of course, only do this if you've been following the company and you know what they're doing. We're going to look through some news to see where they are and where they're going. I got out of my long-term position a while ago because I didn't like the business model shift. However, as a trader, when I look at things, there is still a lot of potential in this company. I'm no longer buying and holding for 5 to 10 years, but I am looking at more short to medium term trades. I still think this is a great investment in that respect. So let's look at some of the recent news. Back in March, their subsidiary Further Foods, who makes new cheese, we've tried them before, we've done a video on them. They have signed an R&D supply agreement with a producer of cultivated meat for development of new cheese cultivated pet treats. They are still engaged with the FDA regulatory process to make cultivated meat pet food treats. So we're still expecting to see cultivated meat pet food treats from new cheese at some point. When that will actually happen, I don't know. But in terms of a catalyst for the stock, this is a pretty good one, and it's good to see that they're still on track. And now that they're at 2.5 cents, which is, pretty much the lowest they go. The lowest they go is 2 cents. Like, they don't really go below that. Now seems to be a good time to buy, and then you wait for this catalyst. Not financial advice. Next, April 21st, they closed a debt settlement. So they issued just over 650,000 shares at 3.5 cents per share. Worth noting that these shares are not subject to a hold period and are free to be traded. So again, they can issue an unlimited number of shares, and we see them do that regularly to cover expenses and to cover debts. More recently, April 30th, they announced a management cease trade order application. The headline sounds pretty scary, but when you dig into it, nothing's really too off about this. Basically, they were unable to file their audited financial statements. We've seen their unaudited financial statements, but they can't file their audited financial statements ending December 2024. The filing deadline for that was April 30th, and they weren't able to make that deadline. They submitted an application for a management cease trade order, which will prohibit the trading in securities by certain individuals, the CEO and the executive team, so long as those required filings are not filed. If granted, this management cease trade order will be in effect until the required filings are filed. The reason that they haven't filed this is due to recently mandated changes to the presentation of certain investments in its financial statements. So I'm guessing this would be their portfolio companies, California Cultured, who we've talked about, Melly Bio, who we've talked about, which requires part of the already completed audit work to be redone, which delays the audit beyond the deadline of that filing. The company anticipates that it will be in a position to file the filings on or before May 30th. So that's, 15, 20 days from now. There is no other material information relating to its affairs that has not been generally disclosed. Something changed with how they need to present their investments in their financial statement, and they couldn't get the audit done in time, so they've filed this management cease trade order because obviously the CEO and the CFO know what's changing in that. Maybe that has a material effect on the stock. We'll see when that comes out, but that's all that is. If it has a material effect on the stock, we're either going lower, which is not too much lower, or we're going higher, which, is quite a bit higher. Again, not financial advice, but that's kind of where we are with Cult. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.